Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning. Good afternoon and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits because another day above the dirt. Let's just remember, another day above the dirt is always a blessing, y'all. Always a blessing. I hope you guys are all doing well. Hope this show is seriously finding you in high spirits. One thing is for sure. We are basically on hearing watch. And there's a possibility that the parents could actually walk. Yeah. This decision's going to be made this morning on whether or not Jake and Rebecca Haro are able to walk free from the situation. Because again, if they don't have remains of Emmanuel, they can't charge them. They can't hold them in jail, which is interesting as hell, in my personal opinion. We're going to be talking about that for a little bit here. This is some crazy stuff. But nonetheless, we got some things we got to talk about. Again, I still think that they're going to hold them. I really do. There's no way that they're going to let these monsters just walk. So again, we'll see what happens. All right. So do me a favor as we start to get in here. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. Okay. If you are watching on these other platforms like the Facebook, the Instagram, the TikToks, the Twitch, the Kick, X/Twitter, Rumble, please make sure you are following. Okay. Hit that follow button on those platforms. Of course, do not forget to hit that subscribe button over here on my YouTube channel. Go to my second channel and my third channel, okay? Pascal Show Clips is the second channel. Third channel is brand new channel called Pascal Raw. Please go and check it out. Subscribe there if you can. There hasn't been much out there yet, but we're going to be talking about it, okay? We're going to be having some new stuff out here very, very soon. All right, on that third channel. So go check it out. Subscribe if you can. Subscribe, okay? Hit that join button down below. Also, before we do the join button down below, make sure you hit that notification bell so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload. That's also very, very important, okay? Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. And, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. PascalMerch.com. We got some really, really great stuff over there. All right, PascalMerch.com. Okay, guys, we have got to get into some things. Now, here's the thing, guys. There has been some all of us are waiting for the moment to see this court hearing or this court appearance, okay? We are finally going to see Jake and Rebecca in the flesh after being arrested and being in connection to the disappearance and possible unaliving of their own kid, Emmanuel Haro. Now, again, I am very hype about this, to be completely honest, because we are finally going to get, I would hope we're finally taking steps towards justice, okay? One thing's for sure, though. Emmanuel's still out there. They have not shown any signs of finding this boy's remains so far. So we're still waiting on that. Okay? We're still waiting on that. Now, I heard Bree on TikTok said, I heard it's not being live broadcasted. It probably isn't. But that still doesn't mean that we can't cover certain things. And also, you got to remember, you mean to tell me that there isn't any content creators out there live streaming this, that are out there just streaming the whole doggone thing? as they walk in, as they walk out, etc. You'd think that maybe some news coverage or some sort of TikToker or content creator is going to be covering this for sure. At least that's what I think. They out there, okay? They out there, and they all been out here. So I would not be surprised if we see some sort of, like on the Tita. You tell me on the Tita ain't out there? Ahmed is not out there? You mean to tell me all these other platforms aren't out there? You see what I'm saying? Somebody gonna be out there, okay? Now, what they're saying is, okay, right now it's 10:02 my time, 8:02 out there. Allegedly, they're supposed to be having a hearing as early as 8 o'clock this morning, Pacific time. So if that is correct, they're going to be out. They're going to be going in there, doing their thing, and then, of course, walking out. Here's the thing. Just because they're not streaming it does not mean that they don't have media out there waiting for that clip, waiting for that soundbite, waiting to hear from lawyers or the DA or even whatever, right? This is a big story. And this is a big story, and this is a big case. So I really don't think that they would just sit there and not do some sort of coverage with this. I feel like that would be sloppy work. Okay? Sloppy work. Now, of course, I don't know how to pronounce this. AEI? OU? Said ABC7. Okay, I'll take a look. Regardless, some very interesting stuff. And of course, we want to know, at least I want to know. Okay, I want to know if they're walking or if something's going down, right? Let me check some here. Oh. Okay. So, I mean, there is a live thing going on. Let's take a look at this here real quick. Let's see what's going on here.
Sherman Oaks community is now remembering a beloved youth sports coach after a deadly shooting in Pico Rivera. A GoFundMe page has been set up for Mark Sweet. His loved one say he was shot.
Well, we just missed the segment. Now they just did a live. They're just doing a live feed of the actual
pouring in online from players and families remembering the impact
of the actual like broadcast of their show, of the news show, right? So ABC7 talks about it, but let's see. I'm just checking a few things just to see before we start to dive into this whole situation. And I'll say this too. It'll be absolutely nuts, okay, for this case or this court hearing to suddenly be turned off, for them to suddenly just be like, oh yeah, whole thing's canceled. That would be insane. Okay? These two most definitely did something to their little boy. Okay? They did something for sure. Okay? Now, again, wilder things have happened, but something tells me that something's telling me that they're going to be getting charged with something big time. But give it time. Give it time. We will see what happens. But nonetheless, we got a couple things that we are going to look at, because one thing is for sure, and I know you guys on TikTok, you're not going to be able to see this, okay? But I'll explain everything here in a second, all right? Just a heads up. But allegedly, they're saying that there's a possibility that the DA does not have enough to charge these two. That Jake and Rebecca Haro could walk okay, could get out of this situation. Now, we talked about it last night, late last night. I did it as a pop-up video because I really wanted to emphasize that because that's a big deal, okay? I even did it as a TikTok, okay? But one thing's for sure. The possibilities on the table, at least this from this particular lawyer that's saying this in this interview. So I just want to play this again for you guys. This is wild. I still think it's BS. I will say this. I still think it's absolute BS. I don't believe it. I don't. I think that they could still catch these two with some charges. Miss me with the nonsense, as some would say, right? I say it too. But miss me with the nonsense. There's no way where you have all this smoking gun evidence like, oh, let's not forget substantial amount of red in the house. Oh, let's not forget about that. It would be absolutely insane for them to let them walk if there's substantial amount of red found inside their home, soaked into the carpets of their home to the point where they're cutting out carpet and floorboards out of the house. And it's like the judge just sits there and says, well, looks like there's not enough evidence here, so these two can walk. You can go ahead, Aros. Court adjourned. That'd be insane. That would be absolutely insane. So I don't think that these two are just going to be able to gallivant out here in these streets amongst these scallywags. I don't see that, y'all. I really don't. I really, really don't. I see them getting locked up and holed up for a while. But again, I could be wrong. Now, I just want to remind you guys, okay? I don't know if you guys remember Suzanne Morphew, okay? That woman lost her life. Husby was possibly connected to the whole thing. Of course, I'm going a little bit backwards here really quick. I already know this, where we're at now. But I'm saying before, when everyone was speculating that he did that, which he did, okay? He did. They arrested him. And then they released him because apparently they didn't have enough evidence on him to pin that unaliving on him. Then just a few months ago, if I remember correctly, if my memory serves me correctly, he gets arrested again in connection to this whole situation, to what he did. He did that to his wife. Okay? Yes, Barry Morphew. But remember, his kids, his daughters are holding his hands as he's walking out of jail, and they're rejoicing because they're like, my daddy didn't do that. My daddy would never do something like that. When in actuality, he did. Because then, a year or two later, he's locked up all over again in connection to the unaliving to his wife. Yeah. Denial is a hell of a drug, L. It most definitely is. Okay? Never underestimate the power of denial. It is a strong, strong substance. Okay? And people get high off that. People get addicted to that real quick. All right? Let me just keep it 100. Now, let me just play this video. You're not going to be able to see this, but I'm going to break it down for you guys in here in a second, okay? So, because I know some of y'all who are going to be coming in, some of y'all are going to be like, oh, no, Pascal, I can't hear what you're playing. Hold on. I got you. I'm going to explain it all. Just patience, okay? Have a little patience. Yeah. Let's play it.
His parents sit in jail accused of murdering the 7-month-old boy. But as KCAL's Joy Benedict reports, the remains, if they're not found soon, his parents may be released.
Another day of heartache in this Capizon community as strangers dropped off flowers and stuffed animals outside the home of Emmanuel Haro, the 7-month-old boy.
You know what I think is wild about this here? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt it right in the middle of her talking. I'm going to let the reporter, cook here in a second. But you know what really throws me off is the baby stroller. I know you guys can't see this, but there's a baby stroller where they made this kind of memorial right outside the house, and they just put a baby stroller out there. Crazy, right? Mm-mm-mm. You know what I mean? It hits. It hits. It definitely hits. You know what I'm saying? They took it off the property on TikTok, Brenda. You know what they need to do with the names on TikTok? They need to put them in a color that, you know, like in a font and a color that you can actually see. You know what I'm saying? But Brenda said that they took it off the property. Well, if they took it off the property, I mean, obviously this has a very lasting image. Okay. It definitely hits. It's definitely hitting. Real talk. Okay. But let's continue on.
The 7-month-old boy first reported kidnapped by his mother and now believed to be dead.
I feel like this is a huge tragedy, and I feel like that baby was failed.
Emmanuel's parents, Jake and Rebecca Haro, were both arrested at their home on Friday for murder. This after 8 days of searching for the infant. On Sunday, the search continued. The child's father, dressed in a jail uniform, joined law enforcement along the 60 freeway near Beaumont, searching for something. Deputies say they were looking for a body, but none was found.
Kind of hard when neither one of them is speaking out.
Hopefully that gives them some leads and stuff like that, and they find the baby.
But as the search for Emmanuel continues, the clock on keeping the Haros behind bars is ticking.
From what's been released publicly, it doesn't look to me like the DA has enough to file by tomorrow.
Steve Meister is a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor.
Now, hold on. I got to cut it up, unfortunately, but here's the thing, and of course, I'm not a lawyer, okay? I'm not ex-law enforcement or anything of that sort, but burning question here. Burning question. This lawyer on this clip, okay, that we're watching on YouTube, he said that they may not have enough, that the DA may not have enough to keep them stuck behind bars. Now, one main question I have is, if that's the case, why would they arrest them in the first place if they didn't have substantial amount of evidence to lock them down? Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. Why would they go out of their way to arrest them if they did not have substantial amount of evidence to take them down? That would be some pretty sloppy work if they did it like that, right? If they just went and arrested them, they're like, we're arresting you because we just think you did it. Well, but then we hear about evidence that was found inside the home, right? The red. Substantial amounts of red found throughout the house, to the point where they ripped out floorboards and carpet. Come on now. To me, that seems like pretty substantial amounts of evidence. If you got substantial amounts of red in the house, wouldn't that be smoking gun evidence? Because it's not like he was like, see what had happened was, I was shaving in the living room and I just nicked I just nicked my neck and it was a gusher, bro. Like it was just everywhere, bro. And so we tried everything. Thank God I'm alive, man. But yeah, that was all from shaving. You see what I'm saying? It's like, well, that's a substantial amount of red right there, sir. What could have been happening in here? Yeah, we just decided to slaughter a pig in the middle of the living room. You feel me? You know, it is what it is. We do some wild stuff in this house. No. That wouldn't suffice. So again, they arrested them for a reason. Oh, let's not forget also the other part. Isn't Jake walking around showing them, hey, he was supposed to be here. Oh no, he's not here. Did he not do that? Didn't he cooperate, at least seemingly cooperate with police? Did he not say, all right, I'll show you where I'll show you where she put the body, okay? I'll show you where she put the body. Isn't that substantial evidence enough? Then he pulls up and he's like, oh, lo siento. I thought he was here, but he's not. She said she put him here. She said she put him here. I don't know what else to tell you, Cabron. I'm sorry. He was supposed to be here, but he's not. Oops. He has to cooperate with police. He says this. The lawyer says this in the video here in a little bit. You see what I'm saying? So there's no way. I mean, okay. I've been wrong a million times in my life. So I could be wrong on this, okay? But I feel in my gut, I feel it all the way down to my plums, that there's no way that these two are going to walk today. There's no way that they're going to get released. There's no way. There's no way that she's going to walk. And there's definitely no way he's going to walk with the probation violation that he has. He already has a prior. He's a violent mother lover. She's out here lying, saying, he's a good man. He's a good man, right? I wish I was out there looking for Emmanuel too. Still lying through her teeth. Yet police know for a fact that she's lying. They have enough evidence to lock these people up. Only problem is that they don't have a body. So is the body really everything? That's going to, clearly it would be the one that locks them down, for sure. But none of the other evidence is enough? Potentially not enough to keep them locked up for good? That's just insane. Let me play a little bit more.
Something, and they could be right, but they probably don't have enough yet.
He says the parents are likely being looked at and questioned separately. Rebecca first called 911 on the 14th, saying she was attacked and her son taken from their car at this sporting goods store parking lot. Jake Haro is currently on probation for a child abuse case involving another child by an ex-wife. Meister says that conviction may allow law enforcement to keep him in custody longer, but he appears to be cooperating.
He appears to be cooperating, as they say. Appears. Now, he's out there. Either he's playing, and some people are believing that he's playing with police, that he's just straight up playing with police, or he's trying to pin everything on his wife. Now, he's done that in the past. We've talked about that ad nauseum. He's done that in the past. Could possibly be the situation where he's like, yeah, she was right over here. She told me she dropped him off right here on the side of the road. It's got to be. It's got to be. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Something about this seems sinister. Like I said, it feels like we're tearing a scene out of a movie right now. And that's what we're seeing. Now, if he gets, let me just say this too. And I said this last night, but if they both get released because police don't have enough, one, that's a huge slap in the face on local PD. This will make PD look really, really bad. And it's going to make a lot of people feel some type of way about law enforcement, right? Because, they've had a week or so where they could have arrested them for any suspicion of wrongdoing, and they didn't. Then they wait a whole 8 days and finally arrest these two, because you think that they want to have everything, all the ducks in a row before they actually do the arrest, right? So that they really got the guy or really got the monsters, right? So that would be a really bad look for law enforcement. Because you can only get it right. You're in a way, it's like you can only get it right once, right? At least that's what they say. I mean, this is what we heard when we were covering the Idaho 4 case. This is what we heard on copious amounts of other cases as well. We're doing our due diligence, ladies and germs. You know, understand that there's a lot of information that we can't give out to the general public right now. We want to make sure that we have enough evidence because we can only get this right once. We can only get this right once. And then when we get them, we're going to get them. And you guys are going to hear everything, right? That's exactly what they said about Brian Kohberger before he was actually arrested. Wasn't that what happened? There were in an immense amount of press conferences that they were having where everyone's like, who's the monster, right? Who is the monster? Over and over and over again. And what do they keep saying? We can only get this right once. So let us do our due diligence. Let us do what we need to do, right? And they did what they did. And guess who's locked up for life, right? Thank God. So again, if they didn't get it right the first time, this is a bad look for law enforcement. Real talk. We don't want that. We want law enforcement to win. Okay? When it comes to this kind of stuff, abso-freaking-lutely. Okay? Abso-freaking-lutely. But I will say this. If they walk, they won't be able to go home. Let me say that again. They won't be able to go home. Do you realize how many people, content creators, media, just angry mob will be outside their home? They won't be able to sleep. There will be people trespassing onto their property. I don't condone this, but I'm telling you what's going to actually happen. Shoot, people were taking tours of their home, which was an active crime scene. Mother lovers had the audacity to walk into the house and take tours of the freaking house, an active crime scene, after they got arrested. This is not a lie. There's a whole video online where a woman understandably is tripping balls. Okay? She is tripping out. Going, what the hell are you guys doing? It's a crime scene. What are you doing? And people are getting all defensive. I'm like, what planet are some people on? Real talk. Some people are just absolutely crazy and don't realize this has to do with a kid. And it's an active crime scene. You're contaminating a crime scene. Wake up. But I'm telling you, it's going to be worse. They go back, and I'm not worried. Listen, I'm not sad for them. Okay, if they walk out, I'm sad for Emmanuel if they walk today. I'm sad for Emmanuel. But they're going to have a hell of a problem when they get back home. That's if they go back to that house. I'm being real. I'm being real. People are going crazy. You don't think people are going to be out there if they're out there? Think about Quentin Simon. Think about Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie's house. Think about all the people, all the cases we've ever covered where they had massive amounts of people outside the house. Imagine that. That would be absolutely insane. So they would have a hard time. They would not sleep at night. They would have a hard time. And hey, it is what it is. I don't condone it, but I can't control what people do. All right. But this is the reason why I think that no one, they ain't walking, baby. And if they are walking, I'm throwing the computer across the room. I'm kidding. Okay. It's not a cheap piece of equipment. Okay. And I need it. But at the same time, I'll be pissed. And I think all of y'all would be too. Okay? But here's the thing. Jake the Fake. I like that, the classic one. Jake the Fake. All right? He got taken out there. That's got to tell you something. That at least tells something to me. That he at least started flapping his gums and saying something. Whether that's true or not, that remains to be seen. But nonetheless, he still went out there. So he had said something to somebody. He's somewhat cooperating in some sort of way. But I truly believe that he's turning on his own wife. And she's playing the fool. Okay? Yeah, seriously. I think she's being played the fool right now. We already talked about the interview where she's like, he's a good man. He loves his children. I've never seen him raise a hand, not once, to any of our children. He's a good man. Right? That trash? Okay. Remember that? All the while, he's out there in these wilderness streets going, I think it's over here. Oh, I thought she put Emmanuel over here. But oh, damn, he ain't here. She must have lied to me. She lied to me. And she's on interviews going, he's a good man. He's out there and I want to find Emmanuel. They took him from me at the parking lot of Big Five Sporting Goods. That's what happened. And he's out here going, let me show you. Come here. Come here. At least this is what she told me. She told me it was over here, right? She's being played the fool right now. That's what I truly think. I'm a fool to do your dirty work. Oh, yeah. Don't you think? Don't you think? And I think that's what's happening right now as we speak. Okay, let me let this guy talk his talk.
What we do know is that Mr. Haro is in custody, and they can't force him to go out and look for a body. He's only going to get to that field one way, by volunteering to do it.
And even if both parents are released with no charges filed, Meister says this case and the search for this little boy are both far from over.
That doesn't mean anything. It just means that a murder investigation goes forward. It can take a long time. It can take forever. There's no statute of limitations on murder.
The Riverside County.
No statute of limitations. Okay? No statutes of limitations. Okay.
District Attorney's Office tells me they received the case from the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department today, and they are reviewing it to decide whether to file charges. Any charges must be filed by tomorrow morning, or the Haros will be released.
So we are going to hear something some point today about something. And I tell you what, if they walk, I am going to break something. I'm kidding. I'm not going to break something. I'm just going to be mad. I'm just going to be very mad. I'm just going to be very mad. Okay. I'll be rocking myself in a corner like this and taking a cold shower. Okay. Hold on. I got a comment here. Let me grab that really quick. Where did it go? The Shack lady said, rumor is court may not occur. Ahmed was live earlier and stated 9 a.m. Law enforcement was on the east side near a house. Ooh, gooey. That's interesting. That's interesting information. Okay. We're going to keep an eye. We're going to keep an eye on that for sure. Let me get some of these super chats here really quick. And of course, comment. Let me know. And of course, I've been looking around to see if there's anything else, right? I've been looking around to see if there's anything else, any more information. Okay. Liz, you like the Rebecca impersonation? Yeah. He's a good man. He loves his children. Just lies. And And then he said, I don't. Yeah, I can't. SPTV. Yes, I agree. We need a press conference. I think the public needs a press conference. Here's the other thing too. I think it'll be extremely helpful for the general public, at least in the area that he is allegedly missing, as where his body was discarded. Right? It'd be very helpful because then people can actually go and keep an eye out, just in case. You see what I'm saying? Or people can be inspired enough to go out and do their own search for this kid too. You see what I'm saying? So again, I feel like a press conference would be very helpful because at some point, police are going to have to be, at some point, they're going to be begging for the general public's help. And there's only so many men and women, okay, that work in law enforcement that can, that there's only so much that they can do. There's only so much personnel. So at some point, they're going to have to turn to the public and be like, yo, we could really use the help. Keep your eye out. If you see anything, please call us at this number, blah, blah, blah. But at some point, that's got to happen. Because there's a kid out there and we don't know where that kid is. Here's the other thing I want to point out. This kid has definitely been gone for more than a month. How about this? At least 30 days. That's ample time for them to do a whole lot of bad things. And they clearly, okay, I'm not body shaming, okay? I'm just pointing something out. They don't look like they're the fittest of people, okay? With all due respect, they do not look like the type that just goes hiking every day, They just don't. So with that being said, if they were to do something like discard the body out somewhere, that would require some time. This is not something that they did on the 13th and then staged this hoax on the 14th. No, they took time. So imagine that. Like I said, these are not the fittest of the fit. Okay? They probably get winded after walking up a flight of stairs. Real talk. Hey, a lot of us still do. A lot of us get winded at walking up a flight of stairs. Real talk. But I'm just saying, you really think that they were going to do this very quickly? I doubt it. I doubt it. The extra time gives them more opportunities to go further out, to take their time to discard this body. And I hate to say it like that. I hate to talk like that and say those things out loud, but if you really think about it, that is possible. You got time on your hands. You are constantly lying to your family. Oh, he isn't vaxxed and therefore blah, blah, blah. He hasn't gotten the pokey poke. Or, oh, he isn't feeling very well. He's in the car. The car's on. I got to go get him, blah, blah, blah. There's plenty of opportunities to lie. Even so, it's even crazy sending photos. I know that sounds crazy. But imagine if they took photos. Just to keep up. You really think that they wouldn't do something like that? Look at the BS that they did. She had 2 markings under her eyes. She covered up one of them with makeup so that the other one could corroborate her story. And no, that's not like dark eye circles under her eyes from not sleeping. No. She received she got a licking. Okay? Long story short. Okay? Long story short. So when you see stuff like that, I don't put anything past these people. You got him taking them out to this side of a freeway and going, oh no, I thought he was here. Rebecca said that he put him over here. Do you really think he's telling the truth? I think he's just trying to show to the courts, I guess, that he's trying to cooperate so that his sleazy ass Timu lawyer, okay, can actually try to work out a deal for his ass. Don't you think that's what happened with Promise? He was able to get some sort of deal with Promise, with what he did and his wife, his then wife, Vanessa. And I don't know if he was trying to point all the blame over to her or try to point something out in some sort of way, but they worked out a deal. 6 months, yeah. 6 months for Promise, y'all. 6. For what he did. He took her life. He basically unalived her. Her soul's here, but she ain't here. And she will not be able to fully live her life like she should have been able to if they did not raise their hands on that little girl. And now we got this same dude being like, yo, come here. Okay, I got something. So there's some sort of admittance, some sort of acknowledgement that Emmanuel is no longer here. So, of course, if you're going to take police out on a wild goose chase, no matter what, you are acknowledging that your son is no longer here. So the courts have got to see that and put that in consideration. Because that seems to be, to me at least, an admission of guilt or an admission of that a crime did occur with their 7-month-old baby boy. Think about that. Think about that for a second. Put that in your pipe and smoketh, young squire. Think about that for a second. Even if he's bamboozling them and be like, hey, bro, come on. Let's work out a deal. Bro, we'll go through. No. We got to go over here, side of the freeway. I'll show you what I mean. I'll show you what I know. That's an admission to a crime. That's an admission to something. Is it not? Yeah, exactly, Nikki. You know what I mean? Yeah, Nikki, you know. And what about that blood found? Exactly. What about that blood found? That's enough evidence for me. I'm like, hey, lock him up and throw away the key. Okay? No, it was not like a little tiny accident at home where you cut your finger, slicing, peeling potatoes or something crazy like that. No, they said substantial. That sounds like pools to me. Pools of red. So again, miss me with the nonsense. Let's get some of these super chats here really quick. And then I'm going to take a look to see if there's any updates here. Okay. Annie, thank you so much for the love. I really do appreciate it. Could they still test the red if they don't have Emmanuel's DNA? Well, see, here's the thing. I would assume they have some semblance of DNA from Emmanuel. I would assume. I mean, there's got to be something that they left behind, like maybe one of his pacifiers, a bottle, a baby bottle, something like that, right? And then also, there's still, I mean, unless they only said that they threw out clothing and photos. If they got rid of like furniture, like his crib, the covers, right, for the crib, etc., there's still enough DNA elsewhere that they could use to match, to see if the red in that house matches the baby boy. I don't think they got rid of everything, but they for damn sure got rid of his clothes and photos. There's also the, you're right, the stroller. There's still the stroller as well. Like I said, there's still enough out here that they could literally, they could start connecting the dots. I don't think all is lost. Then here's the other thing too. If that was the case, then okay, no. Hear me out. Let's take a big step backwards for a second. If that's the case and they had nothing, they had no DNA to be able to swab and connect the dots. There's no semblance of DNA on Emmanuel. Wouldn't that be a dead giveaway as well? Wouldn't it though? Wouldn't it be a dead giveaway of wrongdoing, of suspicious activity? Think about that for a second. Take a second. Think about it. Okay? Think about that for a second. So yeah. That would be weird, right? That would be a big dead ass giveaway, right? He never went to the doctor. Allegedly, they got rid of all of his stuff. I don't know. But yeah, again, DNA is in that house for sure. That kid lived in that house. That kid pooped, peed, cried, showered, etc. in that house. If they wiped everything of his DNA-wise clean in that house, that'd be so suspicious. It'd be like, wait a second. So he never existed then. He never lived in this house. This is weird. Why isn't there any trace of DNA of this kid? That means they're covering things up. At least to me, that's what it looks like. That's suspicious activity, right? Tyler, thank you so much for being a member for the past 30 months. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for always staying on top of this and focusing on what matters. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, and there's so much going on outside of this story that we are covering and keeping an eye on as well. And trust me, we will be talking about those things when the time is right. Okay, for sure. True Strategic Eyes. What's up, man? What's good? What's good? Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it, man. Rebecca is staying on script. Meanwhile, Jake is big snitching. That's what I think too, man. I think she is playing dumb. Like I said, I'm a fool to do your dirty work. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? I feel like she's being played big time, y'all. Big time. Same thing he did to his previous wife, Vanessa. Absolutely. We are on the same page, man. And, it feels good because I know you in law enforcement. I ain't. So, that just the fact that you saying that means I'm a genius. I'm kidding. Y'all need to go check out True Crime with Strategic Eyes. Very, very great channel. Okay. He's been covering this. He's been diligently covering this as well. And of course, he's a cop. He knows his thing around this, you know what I mean? As far as crimes and stuff. So it's definitely in his wheelhouse. Go check him out. Subscribe if you can. That'd be greatly appreciated. I'm sure he'll appreciate that too. Got to get you back on the show, man, for real. It's been a minute. If you're still in the house, you might be gone already. But anyway, let's continue on. Jessica, thank you so much. On the tier said that they were on the east side of the highway near a house. He originally thought it was construction people, but it was LE searching. Yeah, I heard that law enforcement is still looking in that particular area. Okay, that they went back. So maybe Jake did confess. Maybe Jake did say, Jake the fake. Maybe he didn't fake. Maybe he said, I put him over here, or she put him over here, and then now he's gone. So now, of course, they're going to sit there and go, well, maybe he didn't take us to the. Maybe he didn't take them straight to the actual spot, but maybe he took them to the actual area. And then again, you got to remember, he's probably, and this is going to sound weird. Ride with me for a second. What if he confessed, is putting this all on wifey, right? On Rebecca. But he goes, listen, she told me here. I don't know exactly where she dropped him off. When she dropped him off, it was in the middle of the night. it was dark. I don't know where she put him. That could be it too. It was dark. We didn't know where it was, where we, where we discarded the body. Body could be anywhere. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Okay. So possible, right? Nana, thank you so much for the love. An animal could have gotten him, so no body. Yeah, that could be it too. But you got to remember, there's got to be traces of him somewhere. You mean to tell me bones, etc., would just be taken and would not be retrievable? Just disintegrate? So again, if they go out there, they should be able to find this kid if he's in that area. And if they are looking in that specific location, anything's possible, right? But they are looking. They are most definitely looking. And as they should. Right? Hold on one second. One second. Mark the Shark said, thank you so much. I'm at the courthouse right now. Okay. Right on. Hold on. Mark's in the chat, is at court. He would like to call. And of course, guys, hit the like button. Okay, Debbie, thank you so much for the update. And thank you so much for holding it down, being a member for so long. I appreciate that too. And, shout out to all my fantastic mods. You guys are always holding it down. You guys are dope. Let me see here. Hold on. 1 second, guys.
Grocery haul is it 3070?
Hold on. Well, Mark the Shark. Hold on. I haven't done a call in so long because people be crazy. Just saying that out loud. But let me see what's up. Okay, that's not working. Oh man, I haven't done it in so long. Hold on. Hold on, guys. So what okay. How about this? Yeah, my whole let me see. I'm checking here, guys. Because the feature to call in is down. Okay. I haven't touched it in so long. It's been a long time since I've done the phone call thing. So let me just check a few things here. Okay. And also, I mean, if you could you can also comment in this, in the chat, what you're seeing, that kind of thing. That would be greatly appreciated as well. Okay. I just, when it comes to the phone calls, etc., some people are just crazy. I'm not sitting here saying that I don't believe you, Mark. But just people are just crazy. But you can always send an email. We can always set something up, okay, for later. All right. But if you want to put something in the chat, let me know, and we'll get that whole thing on and popping. Let me see if there's anything here. Because are there cameras out there? Okay. Are there cameras out there or something? No trauma. No, nobody being traumatized. Not at all. It's just that people say certain things and then they come onto the show and they scream obscenities or say rude things. And I'm good. Mark said, yes, tons of cameras. Okay. Let us see if there's anything here. Because right now, I am looking. So give me a second, guys. Looking. Gotta love this crap. Hold on. Actually, in fact, while I'm doing this, I want you guys to see this too. Now, this is something while I'm going to try to set something up here. Okay. So just give me a second. All right. What's up, Strategic? Let's see. She says she can't donate because she's on fixed income, so I'm showing her some love or showing love for her. Love you, Pascal. Thank you so much, Strategic. I appreciate it. Mad love to you too, man. And thank you, Wanda. Or thank you for being so kind and donating on behalf of her. That really does. That's really appreciative. Okay, that is very sweet. Thank you. But really quick, I just want to pull this up. Okay. Real quick. Brian Entin just did an interview with an expert talking about this whole search, right? This fugazi of a search. Okay. And again, I think this is just very, very interesting what they're talking about here. So I want to play a tiny bit of this. Brian Entin obviously has been doing great work in the true crime realm. He's been kicking a lot of ass. Just so you know, he does have a podcast or a YouTube channel now. Okay, he followed Ashley Banfield basically, and so he has his own, and it's called Brian Entin Investigates. So he pulls up some questions with this person, and this person is saying, this expert's basically saying, yeah, there clearly is some sort of setup going on that he's trying to look good in front of law enforcement while she looks like Boo Boo the Fool. Okay. So I'm going to pull this up. I want you guys to see this. I'm trying to pull something else up so I have that all together, and we can continue going with this thizang. Okay. But real quick, let me see. Real quick before I play this. Yeah, I heard some rumors about lie being used. Okay. And Mark, you good? No worries, bro. No worries. I appreciate you, letting me know what's going on. Okay. Interesting. Tiana. SF Investigates said why he thinks they could be released, and it has to do with a mess up between two sheriff departments and jurisdiction. What? He said if released, it could be temporary. That makes no sense. What? I mean, I get it, but that would make no sense. How could they mess this up? How could they mess this up over between two departments and jurisdiction? You see what I'm saying? That would be asinine. That would be absolute. Then you could sit there and say the same thing for a lot of other crimes as well, potentially, I guess, right? That would be a first time I've ever heard something like that before. If that's true, that's interesting. But I'm wondering why. I'm not sitting here saying that I don't believe SF Investigates. I think he does great work too. But it does make you wonder why, or how's that even possible, right? Now, let me play a little bit of this, okay? I'm trying to get something set up here so we can look at a few things online, okay? So just give me 2 seconds, okay? I'm playing this really quick. You guys aren't going to be able to hear this, but just give me a few seconds here. I'm trying to set something up.
Especially, could the dad be turning on the mom? Is that why he's out searching with police? I spoke to a former prosecutor from Riverside County which is where all of this went down, about the latest turn of events and what to expect with more charges for these parents. Kim Degonia joins us now. She is a former prosecutor in Riverside County. Thank you so much for chatting with me, Kim, and for giving us your perspective, since you know that area so well and have sources in that community. First of all, I want to get your reaction to baby Emmanuel's father. We all saw this video over the weekend when he was out there in his orange jail jumpsuit with detectives on the side of the road, apparently trying to show them where baby Emmanuel is, but they didn't find anything. What did you make of that?
Right. Well, Brian, thanks for having me. I enjoy talking about this stuff, especially when it's close to home and I know exactly where all the players are and the different locations. I've been a prosecutor for 15 years. The last 5 years of my career, I was in the homicide unit, where I was often out on crime scenes with the investigators, doing exactly what we all saw on these videos, which was, Jake Haro out there in his jumpsuit trying to lead detectives to where the body is found. My take on it is the fact that he did not lead them to the body tells me that he was just playing games with the investigators and had no intention of truly telling them where baby Emmanuel's body is, unfortunately.
So she is claiming that he's just playing with police. Okay? That's what she's claiming. That Jake the fake is out here playing the police. Why would he toy with police? Why would he toy with police like this? You realize that it would only make him look worse. When it comes to him, whatever conviction is laid upon him and whatever sentencing is laid upon him, because that's eventually going to happen. Why would he be toying the police like this? Unless he's like, F the po-po, that kind of thing. But again, it just doesn't make sense to me, guys. To buy time, wild goose chase, possibly. But to buy time for what? Could there be now this is wild, I'm just asking the question, but could there be a third person involved? That's the question, right? Could there be a third person involved? Hold on, I got a couple chat comments here I want to grab here too. There was something I saw, and it just blazed right through me, right by me, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to pull this up. Okay. And again, guys, I see a bunch of y'all in here. I appreciate y'all for spending the time with me. It really means the world to me. Real talk. You guys could be spending this time anywhere else, but you decided to be here with my greasy ass. So I appreciate it. Okay. Thank you so much. But please do me a solid. Okay. Hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you can. Okay. Don't forget to hit that follow, and subscribe as well. Don't forget to subscribe. I cover a lot of things on this channel. I don't only cover true crime. I do cover a lot of true crime. Absolutely. But I talk about a lot of things that are going on in the world, from pop culture to true crime to politics, even, and everything in between. And if you appreciate how I tell these stories, give you guys your information for your day, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hit that join button, become a member, support the channel. Okay. Check out my other channels as well. Pascal Raw is a very brand new podcast I just started. And so working on some more content over there. Just been a very busy time. Okay. Very, very busy time. Okay. So please, if you can, subscribe, hit the like button down below, follow me on my Facebook as well. Okay. Because there's a lot of updates that are going on over on that Facebook page as well. Okay. But yeah, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, show some love. We are her. Okay. And subscribe. I can't emphasize that enough. Now, Yeah, see, that's the thing. Messing with 5-0 is a very messed up thing to do. Okay, that is very jacked up. But I seriously do believe I agree with her to a certain extent. I think he's not playing. I don't think he's messing with them for sure, but I don't think he's messing with them in the way that we think that he's messing with them. I think that he's toying with them to get the narrative and the light shifted over to Rebecca because he's trying to save his own butt. Or it could very well be what I just said earlier, that he confessed. He said, yo, come here. I'll show you where we went. And then they went out there and he's like, yo, I swear to God, it was right here. We dropped him off right here and now he's gone. I don't know. It was pitch black. He could be here. He could be over on the other side of the hill. I don't know. But he was, from what I remember, we were right here. You realize that it's going to be them combing throughout the entire freeway today, right now. They're probably going through the entire freeway right now trying to find this baby boy. He's like, I swear it was here, but it was pitch black. It was really late at night. I don't remember any. I don't remember. I was right here. I just remember it being like looking like this, man. I swear to God, that could be it. Or, I pulled the car over and she took the baby and she went out there. That's all I remember, man. She took the baby. I didn't. I was in the car. I drove. I pulled over to the side of the freeway. She got out of the car and she walked out into darkness. So I'm just leading you to where it is. I'm sorry. This is what I saw. This is all I can remember, man. That could be it. But she's the one who took the baby out there, right? That's possible. Passing blame. Now, somebody just said this, the fennel just said, or the fennel. I don't know if it's fennel or fennel, but apologies if I butchered. Not on docket. What does that mean? Let me see here. Ash says he's definitely going to blame Rebecca. He tried exactly the same thing with his ex-wife, which we did discuss. Yep. Rebecca's going to stick to her story, and he's going to give them bits of information that will benefit him. Now, are we sure about that now? Hold on now. Think about this. Oh, so much drama in the LBC is kind of hard being Snoop D-O-double-G. Let's talk about this. Are we sure about that now? Yes, that was a quote from the great Snoop Dogg. But let's talk about this. Are we sure she gonna lay down and take it? Real talk. Do you really think, after hearing about this, you don't think she caught wind about this info? You don't think that the jail are telling, yeah, it looks like he's out there. You don't think for a second she's going in her mind going, wait a second. They came up with nothing. Hold on. You don't think for a second she's not hesitating, being like, wait a second. He is trying to pin this on me. Come on now. For a fact, she's in that cell, pacing back and forth, filled with anxiety, losing her doggone mind. You really think she's sitting there going, well, I'm just going to stand 10 toes down to what I said earlier because he's a good man. He's a good man. No, she's not. Probably not. Now she's like, oh, wait. Whoa. What are you doing, man? Huh? Oh, hell no. No. Narrative changes now. Where's my lawyer? Where the hell's my lawyer? We need to talk now. You really think she's going to lay down? And she's going to take it? I doubt it. I doubt it, y'all. I doubt it. Not now anymore. He led him out there. He led them astray. You don't think for a second she's going, oh, wait. He's playing with me. Think about it. She sends out the story, the letter, or not the letter, the interview, right? She's wearing her crush blue prison jumpsuit that just brings out this je ne sais quoi in her essence, right? And she says, he's a good man. He's a good man, right? Then an hour later, not even an hour, no, like an hour later, he is spotted out in these wilderness streets, leading police to where Emmanuel could be. That interview already happened, y'all. The interview already happened. Let's just say the interview happened an hour before it was posted. Let's just be real, because you know it's a hot topic. So you know for a fact, they're trying to hit send as quickly as possible. Post. And they posted it. And then about an hour or so later, he out there in these wilderness streets, kicking rocks with the police going, oh, hey, man, I thought he was here, but she's not. Oh, he's not. Lo siento, cabrón. I thought he was here, but he's not. With his diaper. But that's not the case. So you see this, right? You see the pattern. She already did the interview way before he went out there. Way before we saw him out there in these wilderness streets. Real talk. You don't think she's going, damn, I spoke too soon. Especially the fact that they came back with nothing. You really think that she's comfortable about this situation? You don't think the thoughts that are racing through her mind aren't the same things that have been racing through our minds? I guarantee you she's probably trying to get that lawyer and see if she could strike a deal. Okay? Come on now. Now, I know Stockholm Syndrome is real. And yes, never underestimate the power of denial as well, but something tells me that she's going to be shook back to reality. Stuff like this is going to shake her back to reality. And then she's going to realize, I have to protect myself. At least her lawyer might turn to her and have to shake reality back in her brain, basically saying, you cannot protect your husband anymore. You see that he's protecting himself. Look at him out here in these streets with the police. He's not doing this for you. He's doing it for himself. This is a time to start doing stuff to protect yourself. So if you know anything, you don't think the police are saying this to her right now? Listen, your husband is out here saying stuff. He's trying to pin this all on you. He doesn't give a damn about you. He gives a damn about his livelihood. He's going to try to throw you under the bus like he's done in the past. And if you're a smart woman, which we clearly know she's not, but they're going to say, which I hope you are, or which we know you are, please tell us where he is. Tell us what happened. Tell us first. Because this guy is already out here trying to work something out with police. You see it. He is physically out here trying to show where the body could be. Talk now before the body is found. Tell us exactly where this body is before we find the body ourselves, or you're going to be in some serious trouble. You don't think that's happening? That's happening. I'm telling you right now. That's happening. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm going to get these super chats here in a second, but I'm going to let this play just a little bit more. And we got some clips from Andatira. And, of course, I want to make sure, because, I follow him. By the way, if you're on TikTok, please make sure you follow Andatira. He's been kicking ass. All right. He's been doing an amazing amount of work. And yeah, he's not right all the time, but who is when it comes to these kinds of cases, and a lot of things are subject to change. He's also answering a lot of things about the rumor mill and all that. Like I get some people, go at him for, or I'm hearing people like going at him, and I'm like, why are you going at him? He's literally on this ish, and he's going after every single lead. He's going after every single lead, whether it is true, correct, or just a fugazi. He is out there looking. That man deserves his flowers, man. He's been putting in mother-loving work. It's incredible, okay? So shout out to Andatila, okay? Love to get him on the show. I would love to get him on the show because I got a lot of questions for him. Okay, but he's been doing, Andatila is the homie, okay? He's been out here. All right. Andatila has entered the chat. He has entered the chat. Yeah, come on now. He's been out here doing work. Come on now. He deserves his flowers, baby. He most definitely deserves his flowers. But yeah, I'd love to get him on the show. I reached out, but to no response. I know he's busy. Okay, he busy, and there's a lot of other people, much larger platforms than mine, that are reaching out, being like, yo, let's sit down, let's talk. But I'd love to rap with him about this case and everything else. But regardless, he's been out here putting in work, okay? More work than I've ever seen most people do, okay? This man don't even sleep, and he's battling cancer. That's insane. That's commendable. Not insane. It's just insane that he's able to do both things at the same time. You know what I mean? The chemo and then the treatments and all that, and still be here going on the theater. You know what I mean? It's fire. It's fire. But that shows you about the human condition, right? That shows you about human condition, and that shows you about passion and about love, and just wanting to get down to the bottom of something that you really, truly are passionate about. And finding this kid is definitely a passion of his, and obviously a lot of other people here that are covering this. So not only just to Andatila, but of course, mad props to Andatila, but everybody else that's been covering it too. You know what I mean? I wish it was like this on every case. I really wish it was, but one day it will be like that. One day. Okay. But let me play a little bit of this Brian Enton interview. Okay.
If he wanted the detectives to know where Emmanuel's body is, he would have taken them to the body.
Since you've been behind the scenes on cases like this, would they have just gone out with him without him already saying, like, this is the spot and I'm going to show you? Or would they have sort of just gone out like, yeah, let's walk around? I mean, how does it sort of go down behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes, you take them back to the station, you start to interview, you give the suspect all the information you have. And I've seen investigators just offer, like, okay, well, if you said that you dumped the body, would you mind showing me where you dumped the body? And oftentimes, if they're trying to strike a deal, maybe be the parent that seems like he's not as guilty or as culpable as maybe Rebecca Haro, the mother, maybe he's trying to ingratiate himself with the investigation and take investigators up on the offer, or he could have offered himself and said, I'll take you right to where Emmanuel's body is, where we dumped him, or where Rebecca told me we dumped him, or she dumped him.
See what I'm saying? So, like I said, I'm a genius. I'm kidding. I'm not. I mean, I feel like this is very low hanging fruit for the most part. Okay. This is very true crime 101, I think. Okay. And if you guys didn't think of this, then it's okay. We still love you. All right. Seriously. We love you. We love you. Okay. I'm caressing your face. That this is not me touching the camera in some weird way. This is me caressing your face. Okay. I know you guys can't hear it. I'm going to explain it here in a second. Hold on. Okay. But what she is saying here, for those of y'all who can't hear it, okay, she's basically saying, yes, this is clearly her, Jake, the fake, going out of his way to manipulate the situation to make it look like she is crazy and she's done bad, and that he thinks he knows where the remains have been discarded, that it wasn't him that went and discarded the remains. It was Rebecca. Like I said, he could be like, hey, yes, I pulled over to the side of the highway on a very dark night, in the middle of the night. We pulled over here. She got out of the car. She took Emmanuel, and she went that way. I don't know where she went. That could be where it is. That could be what he's saying. But here's the thing, though. That still does not. He still doesn't. It still does not mean that he is. One thing is for sure. People are wondering if. They're wondering if he has anything to do with his demise, with Emmanuel's demise. I truly think that Emmanuel lost his life at the hands of Jake. That's what I truly think. He may have unalived Emmanuel, but he may not have discarded Emmanuel's remains. That's still possible. But of course he's going, I'll show you where she put the remains. Pulled over the side of the road. It was both of us in the car with Emmanuel in the car. And then she put Emmanuel out there in the darkness. That's all I know. That could be it. But one thing is for sure. We don't know if he's confessing to unaliving Emmanuel. That's one thing that we're still waiting to hear. Now, when it comes to this court, rumor has it that court is not happening, and that they have to wait until something like 1 or 2 o'clock Pacific time. But like I said, we are not done yet. We're looking at a few things, and I want to see that confirmation for myself as well, because I have yet to see anything about that. Okay. And I'm wondering where that is actually being said. Oh, wow. Wow. Let's take a look at this. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for putting this up. And of course, MetaMom, thank you so much for putting this, for mentioning me or adding me in this. Okay. So in other news, Rebecca and Jake Haro are being arraigned this morning, okay, for charges of malice M of the 7-month-old baby son, Emmanuel. This is the line outside the courthouse. Look at this. Blammo. And then Jordan just said this. Thank you so much. Information has been leaked, and the docket is showing 7:52. They were in court. Uh-oh. That's what's up. Now, of course, if you have any information, please send it to me. You know, you can always email it to me. That would be greatly appreciated. Okay. But of course, you know, we're still trying to figure out what's going on. But look at that line. Let me show you that to you guys one more time. Okay. So people are outside. People are outside, bro. People are outside. So again, let me pull up on the Tira, because like I said, he been putting in work. Hold on.
Hi, we're here with
This was 42. Hold on.
the inmate.
And that was last year.
We're here
Okay.
with
This is
business owner Mark. He works at the Waterman Discount Mall. We were waiting for his arrival from out of town on business. For me, I met. Well, it's August 3rd. We've been in communications. Detectives did come to my shop, go through, you know, and get, I guess, the hard drives. People are gonna say, "Why didn't I go to the police?" I am working with the police. I have a lot to lose, and I have nothing to gain from this.
Do you hear that, right? So apparently he's saying in here too, August 3rd has entered the chat. So if I'm correct, he's having a conversation with, I'm going to run that back again. He's interviewing somebody who apparently saw Rebecca with the Shiner, August 3rd.
With local business owner Mark. He works at the Waterman Discount Mall. We were waiting for his arrival from out of town on business. For me, I met. Well, it's August 3rd. We've been in communications. Detectives did come to my shop,
go through, you know, and get, I guess, the hard drives. People are going to say, why didn't I go to the police? I am working with the police. I have a lot to lose, and I have nothing to gain from this.
We thought it would be important to come here to the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department to show you fine folks at home and give you a better understanding of the evidence that we have involving Rebecca and Jake Haro from August 3rd, 2025.
I'm very organized about what I do. This is one of the receipts that, thanks for holding it, on, oops, the rubber band's in the way. Actually, it's perfect. August 3rd, 2025, 10:38 at 7 seconds. She actually had an appointment for 10:15 to come to our shop. I didn't know her first name because she was like, you know, but it was, I put Lady R. Haro, August 3rd. She did sell some items to me. People are going to go, that's all. But there was.
So I guess it's a pawn shop. I didn't catch that. I didn't catch the beginning. But apparently a pawn shop. And this is on the Tira interviewing the guy from the pawn shop, the owner of the pawn shop. And they're basically saying that she did show up on August 3rd at this particular shop. And she was rocking this marking on her face. Interesting, right? Yeah, I don't know if that information is true. I am looking around to see if that information is actually correct, just so you guys know. But don't get too excited because, like I said, I'm trying to see if that reporting is actually accurate and true. Okay, but people get on here and say things that aren't true all the time. That's just how the game is. But I've been looking elsewhere to see if there's any news about that. Just so you know, I'm looking at the chat. Trust me, I'm looking at the chat.
Was a gold coin, some miscellaneous, some Trump coin, and then she did sell coins, which I mentioned to the detectives about.
Crazy.
That were like in a container of sorts.
Can we show the casing to the coin? Would that be okay? It looked like some chemical agent might have stained the plexiglass.
Really windy here. There's some other coins that are inside this manila folder. I'm like this with all my guests. If you ask anybody that knows my type of work, they say he remembers a lot of
very
stuff.
Organized.
I don't know what this is. It may not be anything to anything.
I mean,
that is weird.
Was it like that when you received it?
August 3rd to
the 10th, the 14th.
Okay, so the 14th. That's a lot of days. This is definitely one of the weirdest things I've ever received. So it was cracked. Hand sanitizer and kind of just did one of those numbers, and then that was it. I left it alone. And I mean, like I said, I showed you on my tab.
He did show us the video from August 3rd with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department after we broke the story of the Waterman Discount Mall. And so this is our constituent Mark here. He showed us video, and my HR did witness the video itself of the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, these investigators going
That's
into
crazy.
the establishment and removing all the database hardware.
I'm basically playing with evidence, and it feels weird. So forgive me in any way, and anybody in the public. I get it. It's evidence. I'm not trying to. Well, basically, they can choose to do what they want with this, but it gives a time frame. Sorry to cut
No,
you
you're
off.
good.
I already I know how social media is. They're going to attack you in every way, and it just doesn't need to be. But like I said, this is what that's what her totals and dates and time. I didn't know the lady, nor did anybody know her on August 3rd. So a lot of my notes, if I pull out,
That's wild.
You saw that paperwork. Some are people with just last names. Some people are with miscellaneous. They definitely have their city and where they're from.
Okay, just so you guys know, we're looking at a video that Andatila did. So shout out to Andatila, because of course I want to give him credit where credit is due. Okay, remember in the very beginning, in the very embryo stage of this case, he was one of the first people to say, "Yo, I saw surveillance footage at this particular discount mall where she was rocking that marking on her face on August 3rd. This whole thing is a lie. It's a sham. She's a liar. She's a liar. She's a liar. We got proof, blah, 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 right? And we are all like, where's the video? Show us the doggone video then, right? We still don't have the video. We still haven't seen it, but this is allegedly the owner of that store. And he is saying that he is working diligently and closely with law enforcement, gave them evidence, etc. The same footage and the same stuff that that Ahmed said that he saw as well. right? With his own two eyes. So again, now we're finally meeting the owner. And he's like, yo, it is true. Look at the receipt. I got receipts. And he's showing receipts. Here's the evidence. She was here on August 3rd at this particular time. This is what she tried to sell to us at our pawn shop and all that. Okay. This is massive. If this is true, this is massive. But also, like, now we're at a place now that there is no question that we've been known that now, right? Like, I'm not sitting here saying that this isn't smoking gun information. This is definitely smoking gun information. But I'm just saying this is big. And now, because we know that these two were lying through their teeth, we now have a timeline that goes beyond, past August, as early as even earlier than August 3rd. Okay? Which is crazy, right? It's crazy. Wait, that was Mark the Shark. Who's Mark? What do you mean that was Mark the Shark? Hold on. This guy's Mark the Shark? I'm confused here. Hold on.
With local business owner Mark. He works at the water.
His name is Mark. That's Mark the Shark? Nah. If that is, okay. If Mark the Shark is still in the chat, he can always send me an email. And I can always email him back. And we could set something up here. Okay? Court TV just posted, continues at 12 to 1. Okay. Well, we're here. Yeah, Mark the Shark, if you're in the chat still, let me know if that is you. Okay? Because that's crazy if that is. But I feel like that you know, that would be nice to hear. If that was Mark, if Mark the Shark was like, yeah, no, I'm the guy who was, the owner of the joint. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the one who saw her with the marking on her face, whole August 3rd, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? That's just me. Hold on, I'm moving this up.
Saw that paperwork. Some are people with just last names.
Okay.
Or with miscellaneous, but they definitely have their city and where they're from.
Can I ask you, can you describe to us what Rebecca looked like on that day? Did you see anything on her face?
I told the detectives, but she did have the black eye. That's what I can tell. I can stop right there. She did have the black eye. She didn't have any makeup on that day, or that morning, actually. And for what other indicators, I have to let they know what I said. Mm-hmm. But just know that, like I said,
Black guy had entered the chat on the 3rd in your establishment.
I'll lose everything today. I'll give it all up today, just so that I know confidently that this is true.
Wow.
You have been a voice for Emmanuel.
He said, I'll put all my money on it.
Community, and welcome home, and we're thankful that you made it. I don't know what he's about to show us. I'm leaving the mic open for him. I'm not pressuring in any way.
No, you actually don't even know what I'm about to show you.
I don't.
No, he's actually. So just so you guys know, I do have cameras in my shop. Whether or not if they got anything, I don't know. So just so you guys know, that the detectives were in my shop.
That is the detectives there. You might recognize some of them from the from the case.
Oh, I gotta turn it around because it's the volume.
Yeah, I'll do it like this. Yeah. It's okay. There goes the lead detective from San Bernardino.
Wow.
You can see them there.
That's crazy.
Breaking the locks, prying open the hard drives. You can see detectives throughout. These are motion sensor cameras. I don't know. They're very, very good cameras. You can see.
What's interesting is, okay, so that he's showing footage of the cops going into his business and like breaking into things and trying to do X, Y, and Z, which is interesting. That's very interesting. But he has receipts, yo. Okay. He has receipts. That's massive, in my personal opinion.
They capture every single angle.
This is today when I came back real quick. I came back about 3 o'clock because I had to grab stuff. My wife was with me.
4K quality in 1080. Look at that.
See how the camera switched and it
You
went
see
back?
that? So we have multiple angles. Did investigators remove the cameras while you were out of town on business?
That's what they were doing in the video.
So you were not there, obviously.
No,
not today.
I was actually communicating with them through the speakers on my camera.
And watching them.
And on the phone.
I got you. Investigators got whatever they need. Conclusive, hardcore evidence has entered the chat.
Pretty much so.
Thank you, sir.
I do hope that this helps.
As do I. As I said, what I said stands. You are a beacon of light and hope, a pillar in your community. And I, sir, am happy to know you and happy to work alongside you in this case.
We'll get through this. I mean, we talked earlier, and we know what it's like to go through a weird situation. And then those of you that are out there, you don't know what this is like until you're actually part of it in some minute, some weird, creepy way. It's a lot. And as I said, I have a lot to lose and nothing to gain. And I don't want anything from this. I want this just to have justice and where it needs to be. I don't know.
What's interesting, though, is that you're seeing like evidence that they went into the building, into his facility, and into his shop, and were like doing all of their, doing their investigative work. But we didn't see any video of the actual like surveillance footage, which I'm sure they can't even show that. I just feel like some people are going to say, are going to ask some questions about that. Like, why haven't we seen the footage? You know what I mean? And I think it's because that is for law enforcement. They are holding on to it. And that's not for public viewing right now. You see what I'm saying? But he's showing proof positive that he's like, hey, there's me in the background. There's cops in and out of the place. They're doing everything they can to he's like, yeah, basically, Phoenix, here are our receipts, just so you know. So just in case you guys think we're lying, just in case you think we're lying, here's footage showing you without a shadow of a doubt these cops inside the place. They wouldn't be running through the shop if they didn't think that there was some sort of connection, right? So again, that's very, very telling. I'm going to play a little bit more of this because I don't know if there's any more. I haven't seen this video, so this is new to me as well. Okay.
No, but it's like I said, I was the one that told you that I had lost my son, and the feeling for the age of 3 had a car accident, and so and to know what that's like is like, damn, and to know the feeling of like, okay, I could have did X, Y, Z, I could have seen a birthday or two. That's
a rough ride. Yeah, a rough ride. How are you doing today?
How are you doing today? Thanks for freaking asking. How
are you?
Going through Arizona, going through all the hills, coming through the back. All I thought of was getting here, taking care of grabbing that evidence, and then coming to you. I couldn't bear to. I couldn't
drag it on.
No,
further.
No, I couldn't bear to keep going.
It dragged you with it, dude. Well, God bless you.
Yeah.
God bless you. Thank you from all of us on the Tira and from little Emmanuel as well. You are doing an outstanding service, and I commend you, brother. I really
keep doing
commend
what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Can I give you a hug? Can I give you a hug? Do you mind?
Heart to heart, man.
Let me give you a hug, brother. You didn't. I needed that myself. I hope you did too.
I don't cry.
Oh man, I've been crying all day, brother.
I had to let it go. I'm sitting there talking to people, and I'm just like, when I get back to the water, and everyone's like, "Yeah, you're."
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm looking to see if there's any more updates here. Of course, they're hugging it out. They're talking about everything that's, how much this is affecting Mark, the owner of that pawn shop. And again, this again backs the story of Rebecca seen walking into this pawn shop with the markings on her face way before Emmanuel was told that was reported he was missing. Okay. So again, that's very interesting. Hold on. I am of course I am checking everything. Let me see if there's any new updates. Refresh this. Let's see here. I am checking a few things because I want to see if there is actually like courthouse. Just to see if there's anything new.
Gentlemen, for you guys. So, to
Hold
the
on,
best
guys.
of my knowledge, I received messages from last night that they were doing some digging on the side of the 60 freeway. Some people say it was Caltrans working. Some people said it was regarding the case of Emmanuelito, that they were trying to pick up more evidence for today or anything just in general so they can have more against the Haros. But again, a very sad and tragic story. And I'll be out here. And anything we see, we'll go ahead and we'll be live and showing you guys. And I do thank each and one of you all for being here.
But they haven't really said. Hold on. One thing's for sure. Of course, I'll just grab this BYM News 1 on TikTok.
We'll go ahead and once again, we'll go around and we can see everything all around here. We can see the media presence, more news behind all these people. Just very beautiful how people get together.
What I'm looking for, okay, what I'm trying to find, okay, is what's going on in that courtroom. Is it really happening? Is the court, are they in court right now or are they not, right?
And right now they're saying 1:30, 1 or 1:30, but when I got here on scene, I knew they pushed it to 1:30.
Okay. So the one, you guys were someone who said something about 1 o'clock was remotely correct.
So as of now, I don't know. It's just a bunch of speculations. You know, once again, on the side of the 60 freeway, we heard that they were there again last night. They were digging. Some people say it's Caltrans. So again, we don't know. It's just a bunch of speculations. But we are here right now. We're ready to see anything that goes on or happens. We are, I will be here. All this for you guys, man, so you guys can see live and in person what I'm seeing. Crazy. You guys are seeing too. So what am I waiting for? Just to be out here? Anything, man. Anything that goes on. You never know. Anything can happen right now.
I mean, it's a long ways from now. I will say that. You know, that's 3+ hours from now. Them having something going on around 1:30, right? So again, let me just explain to those of y'all who are watching right now and just letting you know what's popping, okay? So there, hold on 1 second.
There as well.
1 second, guys. And I appreciate this content creator. I don't know this TikTok, this TikTok page, but I do appreciate them giving us the updates. Obviously, there's a lot of people, kind of standing around waiting for something to happen. Now, here's something, okay, just for those of y'all who are here, okay? Apparently, they won't be going into court until around 1:30 Pacific time, okay? So that'll be like 3:30 Central Standard Time, okay? 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, just so you guys are on point with me, right? Now on the Tita is in front of the courthouse too. I didn't see him live. It doesn't say that he's live anywhere, so he might be waiting, or he may have gone live already and then stopped because he realized it's going to be several hours from now until they actually have the court hearing, right? But nonetheless, of course, they're trying to. I think that they're actually trying to give police a little bit more time as they continue to look for this baby boy. That's what I think. Okay. Lil Patty, I heard that his actual date of birth is like somewhere around November or December, if I'm correct. Okay. And yes, this is all for baby Emmanuel, for those who are seeing the live feed over on the TikTok live feed. Okay. But he's showing all the media. There's media. They're all sitting there waiting. Okay. So it's not like they're not covering this. I think that they're waiting so that when it's time to go live, they go live. Right? Oh, 12/21/24 is when he was born, December.
Yeah. Traffic is insane. It took.
So yeah. His birthday's in December. Okay. Thank you for that correction, or for, that adjustment or that update. Now, here's the thing, guys. What I am going to do is, of course, we got a bunch of super chats and all that, but I think what I'm going to do after I go through the super chats is I'm going to hop back on around the 3:00 time so that I could go get lunch, stretch my legs a little bit, and then get back here with more stuff. Because honestly, if they're not doing anything for at least 3 hours, that's a long time. But I'm going to be back. Okay. I'm definitely going to be back to get things moving. And I'm going to see if I can get some friends on the show too. We'll see what happens though. Okay. That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. I get it. You know what I mean? Everybody and their mama is covering this situation right now as we speak. Okay. Again, I appreciate you guys watching this with me. Right now, I'm not going anywhere yet. We're not done yet. Okay. But from what we're understanding is that court won't happen until about between 1 and 1:30. So I will be back on a little bit before that 1:00 time, Pacific time. So that will be 3 Central Standard Time, 4 Eastern Standard Time, just so that you guys are savvy. Okay. And of course, I'll have a thing so you'll know. Okay. But I'll be on before that for sure, because we ain't missing out on this info and this coverage. Okay. But real quick. Okay. L Squared, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Could be they are trying to get him to feel guilty and confess, or this could be an act for the public too. Thanks for all you do, P. That's possible too. I will say this, it's possible. Okay. That is very, very possible. So apparently, just so you know, Pierrette just asked how many hours from now. It's going to be about 3 hours and 15 minutes from now ish. Okay. So 1 p.m. Pacific time. All right. 1 p.m. Pacific time is 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that would be 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just so you all guys, just so y'all know. Okay. Right now in California, the time in California is 9:46 a.m. So, it's still the morning time. Where I'm at, we're walking into lunchtime. Okay. It's lunchtime here shortly. So again, in about 3 hours, we'll be back on to talk all about this too. Okay. And cover what's going on. Because 3 hours is a long time to sit here and rewatch videos we've already seen and all that stuff. You know what I mean? But we're going to go to lunch and then come back. Elizabeth, thank you so much for being a member for the past 15 months. I'm sorry. Thank you again for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Heather, Heart of Inspiration, thank you so much for the love. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. He already has a suspended sentence and some court date coming up. Yep, for a violation of probation. He had a pew-pew when he's not supposed to be having a pew-pew. If he gets convicted of this, he goes away for a long time. He's going to be going away for life. Let's be real. And also his wife is too. His MO is to blame the mother. And we see that he's trying to wait. He's trying to wait is out to get released. He's trying to wait is out to get released. I don't understand that last part, but I do believe that he is trying to blame the mother for sure. I think he's trying to blame the mother. I truly think that too. Kristen, thank you so much. Just heard they will appear in court or they won't appear in court until 1 p.m. Yes, that's what I'm hearing as well. And I'm telling you what, we're going to be right there watching that as well live, okay, when we come back. Kristen, thank you so much. Just heard already just did that. Imposter, thank you so much. I missed most of the morning portion of the show. Any update on finding baby Emmanuel? Apparently, they're saying that they are on that side of the highway, still combing through the area, trying to find him. Because you never know. Maybe he did confess. Maybe Emmanuel or maybe Jake took them out there and he's like, I don't know where she went, but she went out here. Okay? I didn't see her drop off. I didn't see her physically drop off the baby here. You know, it was specifically in this area. All I know is that she walked into this area and I don't know where she went. She disappeared for a while. That's all I know. That could be it. And of course, the fact that he's like, that's all what she did. And I didn't see her bury the body. You know what I mean? Pretty crazy, right? Or anything new with the court hearing. Well, we'll be back at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time or a little bit before 3 p.m. Central Standard Time to cover the court hearing because apparently it's getting moved or it has been moved. Okay. Beautiful Messy Ball. Thank you so much. Any ideas if there will be cameras in court? I'm sure there may be cameras in court, but not live streaming. But I think that there will be cameras in court and then it'll be released later. That's possible, but that's a good question. Thank you so much for the question. Charity, sending love. Keep doing you and walk on those haters. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Charity. Thank you so much for the support. General Genobi, streamers in public is out of control. Things like this mess up investigations. I don't know about that. I think that there's so many levels to that. Yes, I think some places, some stories get really messy and get really murky because of the public's involvement or, you know, the news involvement, journalists' involvement into the cases. I think it can get very, very messy, can get very, very murky. But I also see a benefit. I also see the upside of this. I see the names of these victims being out there, the need to bring awareness for those particular people that may not have gotten the light of day if there wasn't for streamers and the public rallying together, trying to find the likes of a baby Emmanuel. I think that there is so many great things about streamers and TikTokers and YouTubers and all these internet sleuths and all that being a part of the case. It brings awareness. It brings more eyeballs to the situation. Whereas I feel like in other situations, Emmanuel's name would not even have been talked about. This would be a story like in a little article on a newspaper back in the day. Small little thing, and it wouldn't have been. No one would have cared. No one would have cared. But because we live in a world now where people can see through the BS in real time, we're able to cut through the BS and get to, oh, she's lying. Oh, she is lying. That is an old mark on her face. That is very telling. Imagine back in like let's just go back to the early 90s, y'all. Okay? Before internet even was like really the internet. Before streamers, before true crime podcasts, before court of public opinion was behind a little QWERTY keyboard. A lot of times you're just seeing these things on the back of milk jugs. And those people were out here free. All those monsters breathing in this freedom air. But because of the internet, because of these streamers, TikToks, etc., YouTube, social media, you can see all these things in real time and you can just cut through the BS and see that is a freaking lie. And then suddenly things get thick. Suddenly just thickens up. And then suddenly Emmanuel's name becomes more prominent and is on the tip of everybody's tongue. That's how it should be. That's how it should be for for majority, if not all of these kinds of missing cases, right? But notice how quickly this case is starting to get, well, I mean, it's not fully wrapped up. He's still not found, but notice how they're locked up. They're not free. They're not holed up in their home, okay? Pacing back and forth, losing sleep with a gang of people screaming at them from across the street, okay? Without the streamers, without the internet, without that, I don't think that this story and this case would be out there. I don't think things would have been, I don't think there would have been a need and a absolute urgency to get this situation solved as soon as possible. Think about Idaho 4. Let's talk about that for a second. Think about Idaho 4 for a hot minute. Let's just sit on it. Let's just sit on Idaho 4 for a minute, okay? Internet went crazy on the Idaho 4 case. Rightfully so. Do you really think that they would have been working so fast and so hard? Maybe they would have still. I'm not trying to sit there and say that law enforcement is lazy. But you don't think that urgency from the general public, from the internet, from the comment section wasn't a mad, huge factor in them getting their ish together and getting this man arrested as soon as possible? Think about that for a second, y'all. And yes, I see that there's a downside to the situation as well. The internet can be evil as F, okay? People are mean. People are really, really mean. And people are really, really sloppy too. And will say and do things for a click or a view just because it helps them make more money. But it will be filled with nothing but lies. That's the downside of it. And I've already talked about these things before in other cases where it becomes extremely polarizing to the point where there's an east side, west side situation, right? There's a pro side and there's an anti side to the point where those people on opposing sides are going after each other and it turns into some strange civil war over a case where all of us should just be in unison, in agreement of trying to find the missing person or trying to find the person that did this thing to this poor, innocent person, right? That's the sad part about the internet. People want to pick fights with people. It's over a case. Instead of just going, you know what? We both want the same thing. You may not agree with what I say, and I may not agree with what you say, but we both want this particular case solved. Right? We can agree on that, right? That's common ground. But unfortunately, we don't live in that world. We live in a world where it's either one side or the other. And if you are cheering on the other side of the fence, then that person is the enemy, which is insane. Like I said, it just makes no sense. That is the sad part of the internet and the streamings and the internet sleuths and all that stuff. It's sad. It's sad because we should all err on the side of justice, regardless on how justice is served. The common goal is to find the truth for that particular person that went missing or that particular person that lost their life. It's sad. It's really, really sad. You know, you see that with the likes of like the Karen Reed case, you know, or any of these other cases that have been extremely polarizing. Even the pro burgers, there's still pro burgers out there, guys. Yeah, they really do exist. And hey, I mean, that's your opinion, then hey, that's your opinion. If you think Koberger didn't do it, then that's on you, baby. It's all good. No judgment here. I think that he did it. He admitted it. That's all I need. Right? At the end of the day, the common ground should be getting justice for those victims. Right? So that's where I think things get murky and things get messed up. This is one where I feel like everybody's in unison saying the same doggone thing. These two deserve to get exactly what they're getting, or you hope that they're going to get what is coming to them, right? It's rare when you see a case like this where everyone is on the same page. But like I said, you know, like I said, I think that the internet, that these content creators, streamers and all that, I think there's a lot more good in the situation than bad. That's just my thoughts, you know? I wish we all could just, you know, it's like the Rodney King thing. I wish we all could get along. I really wish we could make the world a lot better a lot better of a place if we all got along, or at least all understood that we're all after the same thing, which is just justice, right? Just my thoughts, okay? Just my thoughts. Girl of the Valley, thank you so much for the love. Shout out to the homie. Thank you both. I think you're talking about on the Tita. Yeah, of course. Thank you. And of course, you know, to me too, I think, but thank you. Yeah, on the Tita has been doing amazing work. He's been kicking some serious ass and doing his thing. You know what I mean? And I think that here's the thing. That's the other thing too. Let me just say this too, because there's always, when it is a developing case, and this happens even with investigations, even the best, even the best detectives are going down roads that end up becoming dead ends. Let's be real. It's like any other case. You go down a lead, you find out that lead is not true, or you find out, hey, it's not right. That's kind of messed up. It's inaccurate, or it's an eyewitness account, and that eyewitness account doesn't go through, or doesn't, it's not entirely correct. People make mistakes all the time. Haven't you watched Law and Order SVU at least once? You know how many times they're like walking and they're, trying to figure out who, Ard and unalive this particular victim, and they're like, well, Sammy from the deli said that he was an eyewitness. He said that he saw a shadowy figure run across Fifth Avenue. And then they go over to the deli. And he's like, yeah. And he's slicing salami, and he's like, yeah, I saw him. It was a weird shadowy figure that walked through the alley. I ran into him. He asked me for a smoke. You feel me? And then he just walked away. He looked funny. He kind of smelled weird, and it looked like he had a little bit of red on his shirt. But then he ran off. As I looked down to pull out my smokes, he ran off and he disappeared in the night. And then you got Ice-T going, okay, you get the DNA sample on that man's semen, and then they go off And they realized that the guy that he's talking about had nothing to do with the case. In fact, the red that was on his shirt was like raspberry jam. Yep. Raspberry jam. Okay. And then they go off and they're like, well, we got another lead from another area. And then they finally figured out those things actually happen. Those things do actually happen. It's not just in the TV show. It actually happens in real life. Oh, you got an eyewitness that says they saw him drinking a drink that made him pass out? Really? They go, they check in on it, and it's like, oh, no, he saw another dude at another bar drink something and he passed out. Looked a lot like the guy that we're looking for, but it wasn't him. You see what I'm saying? It happens all the time. Okay? Well, you know they always got to have sandwich. You know they always got to have Ice-T out there saying something about some DNA. You know what I mean? Man, what are you talking about, SA? What does that mean? And then somebody has to explain it to him. Does anybody else notice that? No one else sees that on Law and Order SVU? Like, he always asks the question for the general public so that they can break it down to the layman's a little bit. No one notices that? Okay, maybe I'm the only one. Maybe I've watched way too many Law and Order SVUs, okay? But on some real stuff, don't you notice that in those shows? They go after a lead, it doesn't work out. They don't chastise the person for going off the beaten path or going to following up on a lead that doesn't work out. It's just called investigation, and you move the F on. That's it. Anybody else get an ID on the man's semen? No one notices that. No, I'm the only one that sees that with Ice-T. Okay. I'm a fan of the show. I mean, I'm a fan of the old stuff. It turned into a soap opera, if you noticed. If you've seen it recently, it's like, whoa, now it's a whole episode. It's episodic. Now they all bumping uglies. There's a love triangle. There's like love going on. It's not case by case anymore. Now it's just like this ongoing. I'm like, what happened? What happened? Okay. But anyway, that's just a left turn. Just a thought. Random thoughts by Pascal. Okay. But like I said, I think that there are a lot of great things when it comes to the internet and these internet sleuths and the podcast and all that. It brings awareness to these cases. It makes people give a damn. And that's what matters the most to me. I wish that there were more cases that were put in the forefront like this. Okay. Definitely. But we're here for this. Like I said, not tomorrow, in just a few hours, okay, in a little less than 3 hours from now, I'll be back on. We'll be talking about more stuff, okay? And then we'll find out if they ever figured out the DNA I'm not going to say that, the man goo again. I'm not going to say that again. But still, definitely come back in a couple hours. I'll be back on around 2:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that will be 3:45 Eastern Standard Time. I'll be back on. We're going to talk about all this and see if there's anything going on. And hopefully we get some news here after this courtroom hearing. I think that they're desperately trying to give the police a little bit more time to see if they can find the baby before they go into court. So fingers crossed. I'm hoping that Jake did the right thing, and what we're assuming is wrong, and that he led them to the area, and all they have to do is just put in a little bit of time and effort to find this baby boy. Fingers crossed. Okay. So court is at 1 1 p.m. Pacific time. So that would be 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be back on about that time to talk to you guys about everything and then some. So come on back and we'll be talking at that time. Anyway, guys, that is the show. Be sure to tune in. See you guys in a couple hours. I appreciate all y'all. Thank you guys so much for sticking around with me. You guys could have been watching anywhere else, but you decided to watch with me, and that means the world to me, okay? So please do me a favor before you head out. Hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button. Don't worry, TikTok will be back on in a couple hours. It's just lunchtime. Your boy's hungry, okay? We're going to be back on very, very soon, okay? Promise you, all right? Around 2:45 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'll be back on, okay? Anyway, hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button. Of course, hit that follow button if you're watching on all these other platforms. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Subscribe. We're keeping an eye on this. It's on and popping. And we'll be looking at some live feeds, etc. when it goes down. All right? Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. Check out PascalMerch.com. Okay? I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon. Much love to you guys. Enjoy your lunch break. And we'll be back in just a few hours. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.